It's Friday, the beginning of the weekend.
It's really good, isn't it?
It's quite nice.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about it being the weekend.
Much as I love work.
Yes, love it.
The 9 to 5.
But weekends.
We like weekends.
We love weekends. Weekends mean reading, writing, comics that we can discuss.
Yes.
Sorry, did I cut you off there?
No, not at all. I just suddenly thought if there's any comments come up, we need to read them, don't we? So let's move that across to there so we can see them. Sorry, everyone. Just, moving things around. Live.
It's our first Friday review. It might not be our first stream, but it's our first Friday review. So, so this is exciting. I've been looking forward to this.
Yes, indeed. So so this marks the end of the our first week streaming. Lots of different things we've done. Unfortunately, we missed Wednesday, but apart from that, we've had a really good week.
Yeah, it's been really, really good. We've spoken to lots of very cool people and had lots of interesting discussions. And it's kind of cool to see how everybody's still doing, how they're still ticking over, things still running in spite of everything that's happening around the world.
It's safe to say it's a really difficult time for comics.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and obviously we touched on that over the last few days. Comic Cons being, shut down, Diamond being shut down, comic shops, doing delivery.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the reasons really why, one of the things which has, tipped the balance into doing this stream is to be able to keep that going and just give you different content. I like watching streams and I thought, well, we could do one. We have a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And know a lot of people.
So we like talking comics, so it was fitting.
It was fitting. Sorry. And I try not to cough so much tonight. So anyway, we've got 6 graphic novels to review, to look through. Now, hands up, I need to. Next week, I'm going to be on point. I'm going to be reading the graphic novels during the week and making notes.
I'm going to stop you there. You're going to be on point next week. This I got to see.
Maybe not. I don't know. I'm hoping so. But so what I've personally got are 3 graphic novels that I've read in the last 3 months, and so I shall be. So it's going to be more of, this is what I thought of it. This is what it made me feel. That sort of thing, as opposed to being a bit of a blow by blow information.
Well, I don't think mine will be that. Mine are more of a sort of, it's my impression of it. It's not going to be a very academic review.
Yes.
I don't do academic reviews because there are so many people who do, and they'll do them better than I will. But what I can say is, sort of what my impression of the story is, because we're all readers, and especially if we're creators as well, it's cool to see what we like, see what works for us, and maybe see what doesn't work for us, what doesn't resonate is interesting.
Yeah.
Obviously, anybody out there watching this might have a totally valid different opinion.
Yeah.
This is by no means a review, and this is how I think that I'm totally right.
Yeah.
But it's just sort of my impression.
Yeah. And of course, we've got the comments. Everyone who's watching us live, you can by all means post a comment. Let me know. Say hi. Let us know where you're from, and let us know maybe what sort of graphic novels you've been reading. And I think towards the end we'll do a thing where we'll maybe you can, or as we go through, maybe you can suggest graphic novels that you like that you think we could read. So
that would be brilliant. It would be cool. It'd be cool to see what everybody else is reading as well right now, because this is a very good time. I keep hearing from lots of people to read all of those books that you haven't had time to read.
And we have many.
We have so many.
Yeah, so many. Hi, Sebastian. Nice to see you.
Oh, hi.
Yes.
That's good.
Sebastian does a very good comic, which I can't remember the name of right now. What's the name of your comic, Sebastian? Please let us know. You may laugh at us. But
we're reviewing comics.
Yeah. So, thank you. Catapulted.
That's it. Oh, it is so good. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool.
So, it's about a cat which goes into space. I can't quite remember, but but it's really good. And if you've got a link to it, Sebastian, maybe you can just post that so we can then. That's all right. It's all right, no problem. If you post a link to maybe a site where you can do it, or a preview or something like that, then we can put it in the comments.
Yeah,
under the,
definitely. It's very worth checking out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
indeed.
really enjoyed it. I like it.
Yeah.
So, and hello, Richard.
Yeah, from Worcestershire.
Yeah.
Stand Still, Stay Silent webcomic.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's another really good. Thank you, Richard, because that's another really cool one.
Yeah.
If you've got webcomics that you're reading, especially in this time,
Yes.
that's really, really cool. Obviously, we do want to encourage people as well to check out if you can get any comics that we suggest that you think, oh, I haven't read that. Yeah, if you've got any of those, yes, absolutely support your independent comic book shops, order from them if they're still going, because that's a lot of what they're doing right now. But similarly, there's loads of cool stuff online. There are lots of web comics and stuff that we can check out and use this time to check out as well if you haven't had time, before everything happened. That's a really cool suggestion. Thank you, Richard.
Yeah, really so I've just written that down so we can have a look.
Yes,
and then any other web comics and things like that as well would be fantastic. I know there's some great ones out there. Just by looking at the Kickstarters, you see you always see when the web comics, when the good web comics or the well followed web comics go to Kickstarter, they really do well because they've got such a good following. Obviously, the artists and the writers, are giving this stuff away pretty much, and it's it's a lot of work. So yes, thank you. There you go. Another arty thing that you're now relying on, which a lot of free stuff has gone into, really. So
lots of free hours of work and stuff. So it's cool to check out.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I think, would you like to start?
I think we're starting with me. It's funny, we're starting with I think this was my favorite one.
Yeah.
And this is, sorry, that was a bit bright. Klaus. I'm going to say Klaus. I know it's so let me read the back and then we'll start.
Yeah.
So, set in a dark, fantastic past of myth and magic, Klaus or Claus tells the story of how Santa Claus really came to be. The tale of one man and his wolf against a totalitarian state and the ancient evil that sustains it. So that's fun already because it's Santa Claus. Who doesn't love Santa?
Yeah.
So I picked this up in a comic book shop in Cardiff. Yes, originally, and
Forbidden Planet in Cardiff.
Yeah, Forbidden Planet in Cardiff, and I just thought it looked very, very cool and quite a lot of fun and quite interesting, and it is. I really, really enjoyed it. I think I said to you this week. It's not Disney in any way, shape, or form, but it's kind of like the closest thing you could get to Disney that has violence.
Okay.
Well, just
graphic violence.
I think if I say graphic violence, I think that's slightly misleading because there are some really graphically violent comics out there. It's not kill or be killed sort of graphic violence or anything, but it is. There is blood in there, and there's a little bit of sort of gore and sort of. I mean, you wouldn't give it to your children, is what I'm saying. But it's what I mean by it's the most Disney-fied one is that it's got, because it's Santa Claus, it's got that hope and that that sort of lovely buzz, and there's something really uplifting about it. And I think that's what I really liked, is because it did make the Santa Claus story sort of more gritty and probably more of an adult tale and stuff like that. It was a really interesting take on where he came from. I love that there were wolves. I really liked that.
What part do the wolves play?
Well, you know how there are reindeer in the classic.
Oh, okay.
So because he's in the snow, and so he has a sleigh, but of course it's got wolves and that sort of stuff. So there are interesting little tweaks, I guess, to the myth and the legend that now is. So that's really fun. And
there's nothing to do that he looks like the Witcher on the front of it.
No.
Okay.
Why would you say that? He doesn't look like the Witcher. No,
he's kind of, I guess he's a muscle-bound hunk with a sword.
Yeah, nothing like The Witcher. No. He's got nothing in common with that. But if you do like The Witcher, check it out. But actually, that is a funny comparison, because I guess he's sort of that type of lead guy. Yeah. And he is a bit of a lone wolf in that way as well. Yeah. So it was really, really interesting. It was really, really fun. It had nice things in it, even though it was gritty. So I think it makes it more of an adult's tale, but still with that charm and that buzz that I think we all have, you know, because we were all children. So it's got that, and I just really liked it. It's a lot of fun. I think if anything, I wanted it to be longer. I wanted to have more time with everyone, with all the characters and things, and delve deeper into, how does it put it so that I don't ruin it, into the ancient evil that sustains this town. So yeah, that would have been fun, but I really liked it.
I like what it says here. I mean, I don't think you read this earlier. Drawing on Santa Claus's wilder roots in Viking lore and Siberian shamanism taking in the creepier side of Christmas, and characters like the Year One. I like that idea.
Yeah,
Santa Claus Year One.
Well, that's what it is. Yeah, very. And I mean, Viking. Yeah, Viking lore. I was going to be sold anyway. Anything Viking, and I really like it. Yeah. So, I mean, it was sort of. I'm not saying that Grant Morrison wrote this for me, but if Grant Morrison was going to write me a comic, this would probably be it. So yeah, and I love the art as well. The art's really lovely. Very interesting. I like the colors that you used, everything. I really liked it. Highly recommended. Unfortunately, I think we started with my favorite one that I read this week, so nothing's going to be of this level now. Yeah. but at least we have this level.
Indeed.
Basically, for Marielle, this is the bar. So yeah. So
we got Grant Morrison, writer, and Dan Mora.
Yes,
is the artist. So, looking at Comic Book Roundup, thank you very much. Publisher is Boom. Released August 2016, roughly. Collection of 7 issues, it's got a critic rating of 8.5. So maybe they weren't as Disney orientated as you, but yeah.
I don't think they were, but obviously maybe they should have been. You know.
Yeah, of course.
Who knows? So, what have you been reading?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Here, you've got. Oh, look, you can see through it as well. So obviously, state-of-the-art green screen. 4 kids walk into a bank. I remember seeing this as in the single issues on the shelves of my old local comic store and liking the look of it. And then, did you buy this for me? I can't remember.
I think I should just say I bought it for you. Wait, did you like it?
Yes, I did.
I bought it for you.
Okay, excellent. So just to talk again, I'll read off the bit off Comic Book Roundup. 4 kids walk into a bank is a darkly comedic story of 4 burgeoning child criminals and their elaborate plans. When a group of bumbling criminals show up in their father's life looking to pull one last job, young Paige has 2 choices. Let her father get caught up in their criminal hijinks or enlist her 3 best friends to do the job first. Paige picks the bad one. 180-ish pages of full colour. So yeah, it's so that's kind of what it is. But I think I really should next time. I'm going to also obviously put little things in the book so I can turn to the pages immediately.
Oh, that's a good idea. Pick out your favorite. Well, while you're looking at that, so we can say it's about friendship, family, growing up, and grand larceny.
Yes.
So everything. It's got everything.
Yeah.
It's the sort of title you would love. Like that's one of the things about it.
Yeah.
First off.
So I just show you things I like about this is this sort of page here, where they kind of break all the rules about panels and things like that. So you have, I don't know how many panels there are, 24 panels on the page. So, and they just do, and they kind of do it a lot, obviously, with this, with the unfolding story. And they just kind of, it's one of those things where they push the boundary. There you go. It's probably something which you hear quite a lot.
Yeah.
I think they do. I think they take risks. And I think it really pays off.
Is it game changing?
Game changing isn't a word I throw around very lightly. In the fact that it's just it's a graphic novel. No, I mean it doesn't turn into a boat or anything. So
okay,
but it's.
I don't think that's what game changing means.
To me it is.
Okay.
but it's really good. I mean it's really different. It has this thing which kind of reminded me of the some of the Community episodes where they have the claymation one and they have the one where the video game one.
Okay.
Because basically each of the individual issues starts differently. So the first one, it starts with them all being in a Dungeons and Dragons game. I can't really do that well. and stuff like that. And you see that, and you sort of, and it's interesting because it sort of explores the characters from that perspective, only for a few pages. And then the second one, they're kind of in a video game. Each character's in a video game, but that's a video game that they're playing at the moment.
Cool.
So yes, again, it's really clever, and so it builds on that up to the point where obviously they have a run in at the bank, and I'll say no more. But it's really good, and the ending is very strong. It's to me, it's clear it's been written really well. I'll tell you. So the writer is Matthew Rosenburg, artist is Tyler Boss, publisher is Black Mars Studios. I don't think I've got many Black Mars Studios, but maybe I should.
Yeah.
The trade came out November 8th, 2017. And again, on Comic Book Roundup, the critic rating is 9.2, which seems quite high. And I would agree.
I like it more than Klaus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really good. It's just very interesting. Got some great characters. All the kids' characters are fantastic. And even the dodgy criminals are also just interesting all the way through. And it takes you by surprise. Kind of every page. So yeah, I thoroughly recommend 4 Kids Walk into a Bank.
Ooh.
So there you go.
Okay,
that's
I might have to read that now.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's cool. Oh, we're doing this one now.
I think so.
So this is a bit of a cheat. I can't really review this. So for some reason, because I knew I was doing this review, I thought I know what I'll do is I'll just read 3 new comics, just to, because we've all got time. And so I did read all of Klaus, and I have read all of the other one, but this one is let me hold up, Batman R.I.P, and I haven't finished it yet. And well, I'm going to level with you. This was the wrong one to start with, and I knew that, but it was the one that I knew that I had, and I wanted to read a Batman comic because I really like Batman. I used to watch all of the cartoons of Batman when I was growing up. The animated series,
yeah.
And I don't actually read historically lots of DC comics or anything, but Batman I really, really liked. So I thought I must actually read a Batman comic. I know this was the wrong one to start with, because it's in the middle of everything anyway. But I think it was definitely the wrong one for someone like me to start with. I don't think it's my jam.
Okay. At what point did you think it was not your jam?
I thought that probably by halfway through what would have been issue 2, if you see what I mean. It's quite, there's a lot of exposition, I think, for obvious reasons, because it's a massive legend and ethos and everything. But there's just something about it. I find it quite difficult to follow, probably for that reason.
Was it quite jarring? Does it take you out of the story? Or?
Yes, I find it quite jarring. I find that basically they feel when you're moving between, because you do this a lot in comics, don't you? You move between this part of the story. It's basically the meanwhile bit, then you move over here and you move over there, and obviously that's not what they do in here. They don't have meanwhile, but you jump from different points of what's going on in different places, which is fine. That happens loads. But in this, it feels to me a bit like jump cuts.
Okay.
Where you're just suddenly here and you're suddenly here, and again, this might be a lot to do with the fact that I don't have a big comic book history of reading Batman, so I don't have a lot to pull on. But when you're jumping from these points, I actually found a little bit that I was thinking, wait, where did we leave you last time? How did we get here? I didn't find this overly clear. And yeah, it was just not, it didn't flow for me, even in that way when comics don't flow, if you see what I mean. It didn't have that sort of like nice narrative of, oh, okay, so I know that we're doing here, I know that what we're doing there. There is quite a lot of psychological twisty-turny in this. So I think that it's important to bear that in mind, because obviously that will make it more jump around and a bit more sort of edgy, and it's not going to flow as much because of what they're trying to do. But I just found it was a bit all over the place, and again, because of that, and it not like in Klaus where I just wanted more time with everyone.
Yeah.
You actually don't have enough time with anyone.
Okay.
To sort of really get invested.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because the comic doesn't perhaps rely a little bit on the fact that you've been reading Batman for a long time. But I don't know. I think this is a bit of an out there statement, but I think for any story, even if it's in the middle, if it's a separate book, you should have time to fall in love with those characters, or to not like those characters, or whatever it is. And I don't feel I had that, but I caveat that with I haven't actually finished it yet, so this is a half review of a half read book as well.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I guess the other thing is, I mean, if people are watching this either live or afterwards, please just comment and just tell me what Batman books you like, or if you think there's a good Batman book to start with, because your Batman's been around for a little while. Just let us know, and it might be one of those ones where you come back to it after reading some others, and it worked. Obviously, it's smoother.
Yeah, I might be like, what was I talking about? This is just rubbish.
Yeah.
But I think right now, and I think that's the problem that lots of people actually have with sort of Marvel or DC, is if like me, you don't have a history of reading that superhero or that arc or whatever it is, it's really hard to find where you should start, because there are so many sort of parallel universes and storylines and things that have been revisited and changed and stuff like that. I know that we've got the New 52 and stuff, but I don't know. It's but I think also to caveat that, it's quite interesting coming at it as someone who doesn't have this huge background. It's quite interesting to see how you can relate to those that way.
Well, certainly, I mean, I'd like to think that the videos that we're doing now, people will look at them and think, I am a first-time reader of Batman, or just of comics. It doesn't really matter. And I mean, I think the one thing you don't want to do is is recommend a book which they might get lost in, because it's a turn-off, isn't it? Really. So I think. I mean, so obviously, as I said earlier, these are our views of this. Many people have many views, but it's something to bear in mind. So that's fine. And just looking again, comic book roundup, critic rating. There's only one critic review on there, but it's got a critic rating of 7, just to let you know. Writer Grant Morrison, artist Tony Daniel, DC Comics published 2009. It's a
long time ago.
I
didn't read I'll just read the first bit of the blurb. So it's, in mind, body and spirit, Batman has trained himself to the peak of human ability, but even the world's greatest detective has his limits, and now he has an enemy who knows exactly what they are. So it sounded good.
Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Shall I go on to Mora?
I think you should.
Okay, I'm just going to do that there. So next one. Now, you're going to be able to see right through this, but you're not actually. Okay, if I hold it still.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Frogcatchers by Jeff Lemire. I really hope I'm saying Lemire right. I'm sure I am.
Because he is one of your favourites.
He is one of my favourites. I have to say, generally, I just buy everything that he does. So that's okay. So we bought this. We were at Thought Bubble last year, and I was looking around in a quiet period. It wasn't really that quiet the whole time, but I went over and I bought Frogcatchers from Travelling Man. There you go, another shout out to Travelling Man, and because it's Jeff Lemire, and I think I waited till I got back to read it. Let's just read out a little bit here. It says, experience a surreal descent into one man's psychosis in this haunting and chilling graphic novel from Jeff Lemire, the New York Times best-selling author of Roughneck and Sweet Tooth. A man wakes up alone in a strange room with no recollection of who he is or how he got there. The padlocked doors and barren lobby reinforce the strangeness of this place. This is, as he reads from an old-fashioned keychain beside his bed, the Edgewater Hotel. Even worse, something ominous seems to be lurking in one of the rooms. But when he meets a young companion, the only other soul in the vast, enveloping emptiness, his new friend begs him not to unlock the door. There must be something bad behind it, but what? So yeah,
that does sound very exciting.
Yes, indeed.
Is it exciting?
I wish it could be more exciting. That's the nice way. If I mean. Again, comic book has got it 9.5 critic rating. Lots of people really liked it, it would seem, which is lovely. I mean, I didn't dislike it at all. So I mean, it's sort of Jeff Lemire obviously doing all the artwork, and I love his artwork as well. Yeah, I think it's good. It starts off and there's not many. I don't think that there's loads of words all the way through it. Sometimes there's more words, but I think it's a page you'll see at other places. But yeah, so you've got the old man and the boy going through hotel, trying to escape this Edgewater hotel. And things are revealed as they go.
So do you get time with the characters?
Yeah, I mean, mainly because there's only those two mainly.
Okay.
The boy who we first see frog catching, and oh, hi Henry. It is a sad one indeed. I should just put that up.
Oh no, is it sad?
My friend Henry. Yes, indeed. It is quite sad. The only thing I had with it is that, maybe it's on purpose, but you can see what's happening and you do know where it's going.
Okay.
Now that just could be my warped mind. I don't know, but so I think that was what I was missing from it. I was just missing the just the surprise element, I think. But it's a lovely book, and it is sad, but I just wanted it to be, I don't know, slightly different. I don't know. I mean, when you look at the one that I said about that he's doing, Gideon Falls. Now I love Gideon Falls, and you kind of want it to be a bit more intrigue, I suppose, but didn't quite get it. But really nice book, and yeah, I mean, if you're a Lemire fan, pick it up. But it's not up there with what I would say his best was.
Okay. Fair enough.
But of course, he's far better than me.
But he's doing all right.
Yeah, yeah, he's okay. We're not going to worry about him.
Yeah.
So
he's doing okay. Okay.
So yeah,
it sounds interesting though. Just before we move on, it does. It's a really good premise.
Yeah, it's nice because it's kind of like a novel. It's different. It's like a novel, really. That's how I look at it. I don't look at it as a graphic novel, just a novel made of pictures. I know it's kind of the same thing, but one day I would like to do something like this. That's my goal.
Okay.
So, one day.
Cool.
Over to you.
Noted. Over to me. So the last one that I read. So again, Grant Morrison. So this is. I have trouble with getting it the right side. We Three. So this, I would say, if you are an animal lover, this is not for the faint of heart. So this is a powerful tale from the all-star Superman team of Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely. Morrison and Quitely deliver the emotional journey of three house pets weaponized for lethal combat by the government as they search for home and attempt to ward off the shadowy agency that created them. So yeah, so it's not Klaus. It's a very I'd say it's quite deep. I personally found it quite emotional. I haven't read any reviews, and I apologize if the message of this was something totally different. I don't think it was, but it's basically animal testing and experimentation taken to the extremes of, how can we use basically someone that isn't us to go and fight our battles for us.
Yeah.
And it's it's sort of around that. I found that it had a lot of heart. I found that it was very emotional to read, and it's quite difficult. It is very violent. This is what I would say is graphic violence. There are a lot of teeth in there and stuff. But because of what it's about, obviously, sort of that goes hand in hand with the story. What they're doing to the animals is very, very violent. It's all about, as we said, their weaponization. So it's about wars and battles and basically conspiracy as well. It is quite heart-wrenching. But I thought it was really poignant. I thought it was really, and it's kind of important. I think the idea of it is scary. I don't think that we have the technology, and I really hope that we don't for this. So I think that's one of the only reasons I personally could read it, is because that part of it, that sort of level of technology is not in existence, at least yet for me. So that made it fictional. But the ideas around sort of animal testing and the abuse of animals and stuff is very real. So I think that made it that made it very, very heart-wrenching. And most of us do have or have had pets. And so from that point of view, it's really upsetting. I don't know that this is breaking the rules, but I just found it interesting that it has a similar sort of lots and lots of panels per page on some of them. This is like that's like a security CCTV footage section, which is really, I think is really, really cleverly done. It's really, really interesting.
It's cool because it makes you look at the pictures.
Yeah.
So when you have no words, you're not cheating. You actually have to look at the pictures.
And that's another thing about this one is where lots of them are, I mean, loads of comments aren't really, really wordy, but this is very, very script wise dumbed down. It is, a lot of it's about the imagery because you're following animals and they're not sort of speaking like you and I speak and things like that. So that's really interesting. I think all of there are two, I would say there are two main characters in it of the human variety, and that again they're quite deep, and there's a lot of backstory for those people, or there's a lot of characterization of those people in a very short amount of time.
Did you care about them?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I thought that was really interesting as well, because like I say, they're not interacting loads, and they're not, nobody's really saying lots and lots of stuff, but in a very, very short amount of time you get to know these two human characters quite well. So I won't say anything about the ending, because whatever I say based on what I've already said would probably give away the nature of the ending. So read it and let us know what you think.
Please do. Brilliant.
But it was really good, and it was really interesting, and it's the whole story in that, it's a one shot. So
that's good.
Really, but quite gruesome.
Okay. So I shall move on to my last. This is again, here we go, I'm getting it wrong too. Farmhand by I call him Rob Guillory. I don't know. Rob, I like to call him. And
this is by Rob.
Yeah, it's Rob who wrote and drew it. I know him from Chew, which is one of my all-time favorite comic books. It's just very, very good, very funny. By John Layman. And I saw Rob had this out, and he's written and he's drawn it, and it's one of those things you don't know what to think, because you hope it's going to be really good because you like the previous stuff. Let me just read out a little bit from Comic Book Roundup. It says, Jebediah Jenkins is a simple farmer, but his cash crop isn't corn or soy. He grows fast-healing, highly customizable human organs. For years, Jed's organic transplants have brought healing to many, but deep in the soil of the Jenkins family farm, something sinister has taken root. Today, this dark seed will begin to sprout, and the Jenkins family will be the first to taste its bitter fruit.
Oh,
and
drama.
And it's really, I really liked it. It's one of those ones where you get more and more into it. So I think that's fair to say. I think it has an interesting beginning. There's a lot of characters, and lots of words, which is nice. And it goes different places. It's about the farm and family and this kind of small town, all in all, it is good. So it grows on you. Sorry, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah, that's bad.
But it does. It actually does grow on you. It's very good.
If we went for one-liner reviews, that would be it for this one, wouldn't it?
That'd be terrible,
it grows
wouldn't
on
it?
you. Yeah.
And I do have number 2, so that's good.
That's promising.
Yes, promising. So I shall.
Did you go out and get number 2 after you read this one?
Yeah.
Okay, so it does. So it's a slow burner in the.
Sorry.
It's all right.
I'm okay. Don't worry.
So it's a slow burner in the beginning, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there's lots of people, lots of characters, lots of things happen. It doesn't stay still for very long. Quite a lot like Chew, I would say, actually. I would thoroughly recommend it. Farmhand by Rob.
Cool.
So that's good.
So of the 3.
Of the three,
Your highest recommended book would be
4 Kids Walk into a Bank.
Fair enough.
It
Yeah.
says volume 1. I don't think there's ever going to be a volume 2, but yeah. So,
But if there was,
yeah, I would definitely buy it.
Get it.
It's a buy, says Leonard. So yeah, 4 Kids. And yours?
Oh, mine would have to be.
Ah.
Mine would have to be
Disney Klaus.
Disney Klaus.
Yeah.
That's not Disney at all.
Yeah.
Just because, like we say, I mean, I really need to finish Batman R.I.P. to be honest.
Yeah.
But and We Three was, it was really, really good, but it's not enjoyable. Wouldn't be a word that you could use for it. I think interesting, poignant, relevant.
Yeah.
All of those. But yeah, I think that was my favorite one.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Right. Now because I've put it everywhere. Our Kickstarter is coming to an end for Mountains of Madness. It's done tremendously well. Lots of lovely backers, over 1,500 backers, which is quite daunting when I think of the postage. But
great.
Yes. But what I was going to say, and I'd let people know there, is that we've got. I was going to let you know what our next Lovecraft story is going to be. That we're going to turn into a graphic novel. And I'm pleased to announce, drum roll somewhere, that it's going to be Shadow over Innsmouth. So that's the one that I read the other day. Really liked. It's just got a great atmosphere about it. It's a good story, nice twist. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So I shall be penning that and penning the adaptation, and getting that drawn. So that will probably be. I don't know. Might be before the end of this year. Might be next year. But yeah.
Depends
So
how quick you pen it.
Indeed, and it's one. So there you go. So Shadow over Innsmouth. It was probably like the second or third choice in our polls. The first one was Color Out of Space, but of course there has just been a film about that. So I'd rather let that sit for a while before we approach that one. And I thought this is a good one, which certainly appealed to me. So. There you go.
It's probably good if you're gonna adapting it.
I think it's really important that you really like the stuff that you're writing. The other thing I was going to say, what was that? Oh yeah, just really to reiterate let us know if you're watching the video. Let us know what books you'd like us to have a look at and to review.
That would be fun. It would be fun to have recommendations and things.
And put it in the comments. And also, I just.
And anything that you've been reading as well would be great to hear about. Anything that you've been looking at, and also it would be kind of cool in the comments as well to hear your thoughts about maybe what we're reading. There are lots of things. I have no doubt that especially when you read something for the first time, that you'll miss things, or people will get different things from the same story. So it would be cool to hear your thoughts, whether you like them or not. Why you like them, why you didn't like them, anything like that would be really, really cool to get a conversation going, really, because that's really what's fun about reviewing things, is talking about what was good, what was bad, what worked for who, stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be cool.
So feedback on this one is great, and that's what we're hoping for from you. So
yeah, that would be awesome. But let us know what you're reading. We'll do this again next week. Next Friday, we'll take 3. I think it's 3. Is that going to be our standard? 3
I think
each?
so. I think 3. It hits the time quite well.
Yeah, no, that's quite cool. So we'll be doing 3. But yeah, also this will be on YouTube. Do leave any comments there as well. Let us know if there's anything that you'd like us to read on there, or on Facebook as well. You can find us. So yeah, we look forward to hearing what you're reading, what you think, and speaking to you next Friday about reviews. But tomorrow,
so tomorrow comes in. It's Saturday, so it's our Blue Fox comic news roundup. All the things that have happened this week. It's been a good week, quite exciting week, and there's some things I won't be able to tell you about, and that's almost even more exciting. But
are you just going to tell us loads of watch this space?
Sometimes
tell you this thing.
Yeah, there's a bit of that.
Cool.
So, but no, we'll be obviously going over the past week, what's come in, and how things are moving.
Excellent.
Yeah. So we shall see you there, 8 p.m. tomorrow.
Yep, look forward to speaking to you then. In the meantime, stay safe. Have a wonderful Saturday, because tomorrow is none other than Saturday.
Yeah. weekend.
Saturdays.
I'm very happy. So, okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, have a lovely evening. Stay safe. Take care of each other. And we will see you tomorrow, 8 p.m. GMT.
Yes. GMT, BST, one of the two.
Oh, one of them.
We'll go live
like
and you'll see us
GMT.
waffling. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
See you
Nice
then.
to see you.
Thank you very much. And thanks for joining us and for all of your comments.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon.
See you tomorrow.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. There we go.